On day one, we worked with graphing one-step equations. Today, we're going to go ahead and work through two-step equations and graphing those out. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to work to isolate our variable and get it back down to a one-step inequality like we worked with yesterday. So when we work through these, sometimes it's easier to think of an equal sign here and do like we did in section six of this chapter and solve to work to get that n by itself. So right now I have plus 11. I'm going to say minus 11. Minus 11. Now I have n divided by 2 equals 1, because 12 minus 11 is 1. Then to get n by itself, right now it's dividing by 2, so the opposite is times 2. That'll cancel that out, times 2. I just found out that n equals 2. So here's what I'm going to do. Now instead of having that equal sign, I'm going to go back and put this symbol right here back in there. So instead of an equal sign here, I'm going to now graph n is greater than 2. So this one, we have to work through that two-step equation and then go through and graph what our final answer is. So 2 we're going to go to and put an open circle. And then n is getting eaten, so it's the bigger number. N is greater than 2, so we should have an arrow going to the right. So we're combining stuff that we did at the second half of 2.6 and then also stuff that we did yesterday in graphing one-step equations. Okay, so let's try another one of these. Okay, so once again, if it's confusing to see it that way, you can substitute in an equal sign here and then solve it like it's an equation. So right now I have 8 plus 5c equals 28. So remember, when you're doing this, you want to get rid of the non-c first. So we're used to seeing that c in the front part of the equation, and they're not always going to write it out that way. So I need to get rid of this 8 first because it's not directly attached to the c. Right now it's a positive 8, so the opposite is negative 8. So minus 8. So now I have a 5c equals 28 minus 8 is 20. Now we'll divide by 5 to get the c by itself. Divide by 5. I just found out that c equals 4, but instead of doing equals, I want to put this symbol back in there. So c is greater than or equal to 4. So we're going to go to our 4, build in circle, because it's got the line underneath, and then c is being eaten, so it's the bigger number. So we're going to go this direction. So we're not adding a whole lot of new today. It's just that now they're going to have that inequality symbol, and so we have to work and combine two previously learned lessons. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and pause your video and work your way through this two-step inequality. Remember, you can substitute an equal sign where that less than symbol is, and then just when you go to graph it, go back and substitute that symbol back in. So go ahead and pause your video and work through this equation. So you should have ended up with b is less than 2, an open circle on the 2 with your arrow going to the left. All right, so let's try a few more that are maybe a little more challenging. Slightly different, I should say. Okay, so here's a situation where, oh my goodness, now we've got some combining like terms. So it's the same processes that we did before, but instead of having an equal sign here, I should have had an inequality. So maybe let's do it this way. Okay, so we're going to work it just like we did the equations before. So we're going to combine like terms. This is a 7n. Sorry, I didn't mean to have a space in there. So we have 2n plus 7n is going to give me 9n minus 10 equals 71. So now we'll go ahead and get rid of our minus 10 by adding 10. Plus 10 plus 10. So now we have 9n equals 71 plus 10 is 81. So now we'll divide by 9 to get it away from the n. So now, instead of, let me see if I've got a different number line here that I could possibly use, yeah. So it's just a blank one, so I don't have those numbers, because the answer that I'm gonna get will work for that other one, but sometimes I need bigger numbers. So here, 81 divided by 9 is gonna give me 9. So I have n, then I'm gonna put this is greater than or equal to 9. So I'm gonna go to 9, so we'll just say this is my 9. And I'm gonna do a colored in circle, because we've got it's also equal to. And n is being eaten, so it's the bigger number. So bigger numbers fall to the right. So we would get something that looked like that. Okay, so let's try another one of those. So once again, it's just combining stuff that we learned in lesson 6. Okay, so here we have a little bit of distributive property. So this is like having our equal sign in this spot right here. Okay, so we distribute. So we get 2m minus 2 times 10 is 20 equals 27. Now we'll go ahead and get rid of our 20, so plus 20. Plus 20. I get 2m equals 47. So now we'll divide by 2. So here I'm going to get a decimal number. And yes, sometimes you will get a decimal number or a fraction number. So here I get m equals 47 divided by 2. So 47 divided by 2 would be 23 and a half. So m is greater than, because that's what my original equation, or sorry, inequality symbol was, 23 and a half. And if you would rather use the decimal form, that's okay. So here's 23 and a half. And an open mouth, or an open circle, m is bigger, or it's the one being eaten, greater than. So my arrow would go that direction. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you one to try. And once again, if your number line isn't big enough, you can do like the cheat number line where you can just do whatever the number is. So when I look at this one, I like to rearrange it. Personally, not that you have to do that, but here's the thing. When you choose to do, if you flip-flop sides and you're now working inequalities, you have to remember that this symbol has to still be eating the same half. You know, so you're gonna, when you flip-flop these, you're also gonna end up flip-flopping your symbol. So when I rewrite this, it would be like this. B divided by 4 plus 9. And then notice that my symbol is now going to turn towards that, because this was the half that was bigger or being eaten, so it has to be greater than. So when you do flip-flopping, it's no longer, whoops, I didn't mean to put that over one. It's no longer just a simple, we switch opposite sides. Okay, you have to then turn your symbol around, and then I would have 15 over here. Okay, so now you can go through and work through that equation. So go ahead, pause your video, and work your way through that equation. You should have gotten B is greater than or equal to 24. So you should have had a filled in circle on 24 with your arrow going to the right. That's it for this lesson. So good luck with this one. Just remember you're combining lessons 2.6, those two-step equations, along with working inequalities. Good luck with this one.